Is Paul Kagame a visionary leader or a ruthless dictator? The story of Paul Kagame is one of stark contrasts, a tale of triumph and tragedy, of progress and oppression. As the president of Rwanda for over 2 decades, he has been hailed as a visionary leader who resurrected a nation from the ashes of genocide, but also condemned as a ruthless dictator who has clung to power through authoritarian means. In the aftermath of the Rwandan genocide in 1994, where an estimated 800,000 Tutsis and moderate Hutus were massacred, the country lay in ruins. It was Kagame, then a rebel leader, who led the Rwandan Patriotic Front (RPF) to victory and put an end to the killings. Under Kagame's stewardship, Rwanda has undergone a remarkable transformation. The country is now considered one of the safest and cleanest in Africa, with a growing economy, improved infrastructure, and high rates of school enrollment. Kagame has been credited with restoring a sense of stability and national unity in the wake of the genocide. However, Kagame's path to power has been paved with controversy. After assuming the presidency in 2000s, he has systematically consolidated his grip on power, extending term limits through a constitutional referendum, and suppressing political opposition. Journalists critical of his regime have faced imprisonment, exile, or even mysterious deaths. Kagame's defenders argue that his authoritarian tendencies are a necessary evil, required to maintain the fragile peace and prevent a resurgence of ethnic violence. They point to Rwanda's economic progress and social development as evidence of Kagame's visionary leadership. But Kagame's critics paint a far darker picture. They accuse him of using a sophisticated intelligence network to carry out targeted assassinations and abductions of dissidents, both within Rwanda and abroad. The mysterious circumstances surrounding the death of prominent Rwandan dissident Colonel Patrick Karegeya in 2014 have fueled these allegations of ruthlessness.
All over here. So literally they used a rope to hang him tight. His face had turned charcoal black.
First of all, he's a very violent person. And,
have you seen that?
Oh yes, many times.
Human rights organizations have also documented a pattern of systemic repression and intimidation leading up to elections, where Kagame has consistently secured decisive victories. The 2015 constitutional referendum, which allowed Kagame to extend his rule until 2034, has been widely criticized as a blatant power grab. Kagame's defenders argue that his authoritarian tendencies are driven by pragmatism rather than megalomania. They contend that his singular focus on economic development and national unity is necessary to overcome Rwanda's tumultuous history and prevent a return to ethnic violence. However, critics counter that Kagame's vision for Rwanda is not one of true reconciliation and democracy, but rather a Tutsi-dominated state that favors his own ethnic group at the expense of the Hutu majority. They argue that his ruthless suppression of dissent and consolidation of power are not means to an end, but an end in itself, the pursuit of personal power and the preservation of his legacy. As Rwanda prepares for its presidential election in 2024, the debate over Kagame's legacy continues too. To his supporters, he is a visionary leader who has transformed a nation ravaged by genocide into a beacon of stability and prosperity in the region. To his detractors, he is a dictator who has sacrificed democratic principles and human rights on the altar of his own ambition. The truth often lies somewhere in between. Kagame's achievements in rebuilding Rwanda and driving economic progress are undeniable, but they have come at a heavy price in terms of political freedoms and human rights. Whether he is ultimately remembered as a Rwandan hero or a ruthless tyrant may depend on whether the country can chart a course towards genuine reconciliation and democracy under his continued rule. One thing is certain: the story of Paul Kagame and Rwanda is a complex and captivating one, with profound implications not only for the country, but for the entire African continent and its struggle to balance development and democracy. As the world watches Rwanda's political future unfold, the debate over Kagame's legacy is sure to continue, with no easy answers in sight. So what do you think? Is Paul Kagame a visionary leader or a ruthless dictator? Let me know in the comments section.